coming back on here. Okay, we're back on for hopefully another 30 minutes. So but if you we've lost two boys down.
I didn't
Oh,
do it.
he's working his custom made camera stand. Nice.
Yeah, my custom-made camera stand here is up against uh, some of these gladiator rounds. I don't know if you've ever seen
Nice.
them.
I have.
They're I do a lot. I sell a lot of stuff for home defense here.
Okay,
Um,
nice. That's a good market.
uh, yeah, it is a very good market. A lot of the
Yep.
Euromex stuff.
Yep. They sent me a few items too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We can talk about some of your sponsors there as well. I know Dye's one of your sponsors, Original
Yep.
Slots. We might as well get a plug for those guys in as well.
Original SWAT is Dye, of course. They hooked me up with everything. Amazing company.
Yeah.
99% of it is tournament, but they've hooked up my side, the Woods Boss, very nicely. Can't complain at all. And we're like family. I've been with Dye since like 2013.
Yeah, I know it's a long time.
It's awesome because we promote each other. You know what I mean? Like they promote the Woods Ball side, the scenario side of me, and they help with that, and I help them with their promotions, and it's just a great relationship with them. Original SWAT approached me back in the day also, and I like them because I like the non-paintball sponsors a lot because they help get our name out there, right?
Yeah.
It's like I think that's really important to advertise outside of the sport, and that's how we bring in new people. And it's like their booths are awesome, especially for all the different terrains I play in. And they get to show they actually support real steel military and police and first responders too, and they'll put my posts on their page too, right? And those guys get to see how hardcore we do it on the other end, right? And
I
that's a
think
beautiful thing.
that's good for them because a tactical officer and all that, they might see a bit of action, a couple of times a week, but it's not as hardcore as running across that terrain every weekend. We put their boots through a lot more than what the military or the police might do. So
I can't say for the military because if you're on deployment, you're going to be doing it for months on end. But for first responders and stuff, like I'm in the bush like every weekend, and I play in every scenario of nasty forestry and snow and slush and mud, and I wear my boots every day too, not just for playing. So I wear them in the city and in the forest, and I put the boots through it. So I would not say with this sponsor if the boots are rubbish. You know what I mean? So they really stand up.
Yeah, every set of my boots is original SWAT. I first got my first set of original SWAT boots from an American PX when I was in Germany. Yeah, and that's when I first got mine because I did 16 years with the British Army.
Oh, nice! Thank you very much.
So, but the strange thing here now is my son he's been in the British Army 18 years now, or one of my sons.
Wow.
Yeah, he just come back from taking humanitarian aid down to the Gaza Strip. That was about a year ago. So he done that, and he's coming up to his 18th year now.
Amazing.
And my other son that's in Swift Current with me here, he's a first responder. He's down with a fire hall. So I think I've given them both because you can't sell your kids boots. I've given them both original SWAT boots. It's take these and try them out. I've had these sitting on the shelf. Do you want to try them out?
Well, I've got family who's I have a family member who's a colonel in the Canadian Forces and one who's a minister in the Canadian Forces, and they do this. One of them, they're always out doing different things in deployments. The family member who's a colonel does a lot of stuff, training United Nations and stuff like that, and a lot of stuff I can't talk about, but I hook them
Yeah,
up with boots whenever I get to see them and stuff. So
yeah,
they like
yeah,
that too. So
yeah.
it's real world stuff applied. Like it's funny because some people think we're like pretending to do the military stuff in the woods, but what it is that we're using what works in the woods, and that's what they use.
We
So we're going to
are.
use what they use in the bush. You know what I mean?
Well,
So it's like,
a lot of the time when my son comes over here, like actually my son just went back a few months ago. In fact,
mhm,
he came over to Canada. Um, we was involved in. Oh, we did a little thing together, and then he went back. But whenever he goes back, the actual kit that we've got for paintballing
yeah,
is better kit than the British Army gets issued.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
I'll bring him around the store and show him what I've got at the time, and
yeah,
he always goes back because the MTP, the multi-terrain pattern that the British Army uses, is almost like multicam. He
yeah,
can
yeah,
get
yeah.
away with that,
Like that
you know.
Crytek stuff is crazy.
That, yeah, he can get away with that. So there's,
The
we've got
Crytek Precision,
knee
sorry. Yeah,
knee pads that are sewn in and stretch parts about along the back of your. So when you bend down, your pants don't fall down around your
you're not
knees.
straight. Yep,
Yeah,
absolutely.
so,
Well,
we've got
but
a lot more Gucci kit than what the British Army has.
yes, yeah, I was gonna say that. And you know what? Whenever I talk to guys who have served and stuff, they said that the worst thing you want to hear is military spec. Now, mil spec is always like the worst you can get type of thing, as opposed to the custom made stuff. You know what I mean? So
Mil
it's like
spec means it was made by the cheapest bidder.
exactly, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So
yeah,
it's like I have like I also shoot real steel for the fun of it, and I have some
yeah,
Pride Precision stuff or 511 stuff that costs a
yeah.
pretty penny. So it's like. And I hear a lot from guys who have served. They say, "Jesus, we could not. I'd love to get certain things like that."
And that's for these two boys here. They do a lot of real steel shooting.
Yep.
One of them asked me uh, because I've been kind of getting. I had the accounts with people. He asked me to get some Cry pants for him, and
Yeah.
I think what were they, like $600? Or
They
they
don't
were
mess
some.
around. Yeah.
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 So I got him in, and I said to him, I says like, okay, how can you justify this? So he says, well, when you wear them all the time, I went, okay, well, yeah, I can understand that. So along with
Yes.
the original SWAT line, they do the first tactical, I think it is.
Yep. Yeah.
Um, they have some multicam, but it's licensed from Cry, so they
Yes.
have to pay the licensing fee.
Yep.
And of course, 'cause I can get it. I got it at dealer price. I thought I've got to try these pants, just to see why they're so expensive.
Yes.
But when I got them and I wear them for a couple of games and they don't fall down, and you
Yeah.
can open a pocket and you've got mag pouches inside the pockets.
Yep.
I think they say you can get carry 20 mags or something stupid on you.
Oh yeah. Because they don't just carry the 3 in the front; like they carry
Yeah,
extras all over the place. Yeah.
yeah. So I understand why they're so expensive. So yeah,
Well, one of my first tactical sponsorships with a company called Full Clip, and I still have. I don't know if you've seen my room, but I have mannequin set up. I call it the Tony
yeah.
Stark room,
Yeah,
and I have all my old outfits on those mannequins. And one of the Full Clip setup I have with the pants and the Full Clip vest and the battle shirt. Um, those guys used to make the real deal for special forces. They were based out of
yeah,
Los Angeles, and nothing has come close to those. Like those, I played with those for like 10 years straight. Not a thread came loose anywhere. You know what
yeah,
I mean? And it's like I just retired them the other day because I want to keep them for
yeah.
longer, and I've got other stuff I want to mess around with. But um, yeah, it is sometimes a real difference depending on how much you spend because uh,
Yeah.
the real
You
stuff
certainly
is quite.
you get what you pay for. Yeah,
You do. It's
yeah,
and some of the Gucci flash, it's worth it. You
yeah.
know what I
Oh,
mean? So especially when it
exactly.
comes
Yeah,
to, I don't want to get into real steel because I don't talk about that. But it's like when you
yeah,
start getting into that stuff and you want the real good stuff to hold on to when you're shooting real steel and everything.
yeah. Yeah, that's right. So these boys, they do competition shooting as well. So,
nice. Like
it,
IPSEC type of stuff, or
sorry.
like IPSEC type of competition, or like just regular distance stuff.
We so
You need to come closer.
okay. So we just not used to shoot three guns, which is kind of like this, but it's just using one firearm and three, so just a rifle shotgun, and you might use one on a stage, you might use
Okay.
all three, and now we kind of switched, unfortunately. So now we're doing more kind of long range oriented stuff.
Oh, nice. Okay. See, that's the problem. The one thing, and I don't want to get into the laws the laws that we're dealing with right now is Bill C-21 and all that stuff. And
Yeah,
trust me, that's a whole different show. But
it is. Yeah.
it can be very limited as to what we can play around with right now, which kind of irks me at the moment. But what you gonna do? There's only so much you can do.
There is.
So
But
that's why I
anyway,
play a lot of paintball.
yeah. Let's go back. Like I know you get all your equipment, or a lot of your equipment, guns and that from Dye.
Yes.
Do you ever wish that you could like try something else out? Do you ever try something else
Well,
out? Like the go-to one at the moment is the MG 100 and the new 200 variant. Have you tried those?
Yes. I have. Well, that the thing that I'm very blessed because I'm one of the few people in the world that has a sponsorship where I can use anything I want. Because and I have used the EMF 100 and 200. Amazing. EMF 200 is really cool. Because when I began my sponsorship with Dye, I've always been on my channels. I review equipment. That's how I got popular, is by reviewing different equipment. So to properly review it, I have to play with all this stuff and everything. So I'm blessed that I can still play around with all these other things and test them out and play with it. And like I said, the EMF 100 by Planet, or 200 and 100, both very good markers and stuff. I'm also, like, for instance, Tipman gives me my TIPX. Like, so they sponsor my sidearm type of thing. Nova Paintball, they give me my launchers so I can take out tanks, and they give me the Nerf's rockets and everything, right? So, and plus I test out like every type of paintball marker there is on the show, and I give away tons of stuff. So I'm very blessed that I still get to play around with a lot of different markers and stuff, but I still love my freaking damn. Not just because Dye tells me to, but between the box bag that shoots flawlessly when it's working good, which is 90% of the time, and the 3-round burst and full auto that I rarely use a full auto, but 3-round burst is awesome, right? Like it's next level when you're playing, especially when you're playing MagFed. Like, for instance, instead of the Dye magazines, I use the Planet Eclipse, the Pro 20s, the new curved ones that have the continuous feed ones. I use those because the continuous feed for 20 rounds is so much better than having to flip it around after 10 rounds. Right? Like that changed my entire game. So it's like, and then Dye is, Dye is like, you know what? You're still using Dye down. Do what you do. Whatever makes you a better player in the game, you use. You know what I mean? So I adjust my kit to whatever works in the field. So when you see, like, even though I am sponsored by Dye and they would prefer me using my dam, I love using my dam. You know what I mean? So it's,
they don't,
I do get to play around with other
mind
stuff,
you,
but love it.
even though they're sponsored, even though they sponsor you, they don't mind you picking up something else and going.
No, they're cool with it.
That's a very good sponsor. That's an awesome sponsorship. You know?
But not everyone's, I'm not to try and sound conceited or anything, but not everyone's gonna get that deal. You know what I mean? Like,
oh well, I know, I understand that. You've been doing this a long time, and I think you started off just at the right time. You got in right at the right time and started doing your reviews right at the right time, because I don't think there was really anybody else out there doing it like you was doing it at that time. So, kudos to you.
Well, when I started doing videos, first of all, I started when I started playing in the 90s, and then I started playing big games. I started by taking pictures of people.
Yeah.
And putting them on forums like A50G and M Carter Brown and excuse me, what's it called? PBN and all the different websites like before social media even started, right?
Yeah.
And then YouTube started coming around 2004 2005, and I only saw tournament stuff, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I want to see what I play. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's when I started trying to do videos, and I started filming other people, and I wanted to show more people this side of paintball as opposed and I love the tournament side, that's all cool, but I wanted to show the
Yeah.
world what we do. And I wanted to
Yeah.
show that, how much fun we have in the bush and how big these things are, because nobody knows about paintball. You know what I mean? All they know is about the
Yeah.
birthday party or what do you call it? Before you get married parties, the stag parties.
The stag parties and this.
I
Yeah.
wanted to show people the Oklahoma D-Days, and I wanted to show all the D-Days in Ottawa and the Camp Landing games, and I wanted to show
Yeah.
how insane, and we have hundreds of players coming out here in the woods and they're setting, you know what I mean? And it's like,
Yeah.
I wanted to show that aspect, so that's, I got popular just trying to show what I love. I didn't want to be popular or famous or anything. I just like wanted to show people what we do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then I caught on.
But it's still the same way. I still find it the same way. There's still a lot of people that don't go beyond that. I would say for a good 90% of the population, it is just the birthday parties and the stag parties. Yeah. And if you're asking them to come out, or have you ever played paintball before? Oh yeah, I played it once before and it hurt so much that
yeah.
Yeah. And then you hear the people, oh well, yeah, and I used to freeze the paintballs, and it's like, oh yeah, okay, here we go.
Never fails, right? And it's like,
yeah,
and I've been doing this game for, I haven't been doing it the longest, but I've been doing it for a fairly long amount of time, and it's funny because now I go to games and it's like, oh geez, I've been watching you since I was a kid. And you know what I mean? I've been in grade school. I mean, they're making me feel old as hell, but it's still the biggest compliment in the world, right? And
yeah,
one of the coolest experiences I had was I was invited to one of the NXL tournaments in Las Vegas, and Tom Cole, who runs Major League Paintball, invited me over, and they're doing the paintball awards and all that stuff, and I do know I played with a lot of some of the bigger tournament guys. Like Ryan Greenspan's a good friend. I've played with Ollie Lang. I've played with a lot of the the big tournament names, the big pro. You know what I mean? All very cool guys and stuff. And one of the coolest feelings I had was, because when you see these sports and they seem very separated, two very, you know what I mean? Very different worlds, and. I was so blessed because the amount of guys who play, the professional tournament stuff and play speedball stuff, a lot of these guys were coming up to me playing. I discovered paintball because I started watching your videos.
Yeah.
And they were like, I was like, damn, okay, that's the biggest. That filled my heart with joy, because like I figured they would have no idea who I was. And man, you know what? I saw your videos and I wanted to go play paintball, and then that's how I found the tournament side of paintball. I went to a tournament instead. But your videos made me want to go out and play. You know what I mean? I'm like, that's the only reason why I do this, is to get people to come out and play.
If it's got them on the field somehow, it's still got them on the field. Yes. I mean, your story's there. I'll tell you sometime about these boys. No, I'm going to tell their story right now for them.
Please do. Let's go.
They've been with me for 11 years.
Wow.
Before they come to me, or before they came out, I knew their dad, Kerry. He runs a gun store, and I've said this stuff, so I feel comfortable saying it in front of them. If there was a yearbook back in their year, from the small town that they come to, these two boys would have been most put down, how do you say it? Like they'll be the most likely to come into this and shoot the school up.
okay.
So
Nice.
it's a small town. I think they were just taken the wrong way in the small
Yeah.
town that they come in. They
Yes.
wouldn't say boo to a goose. These guys, and their confidence level that I've seen that they've come with since they've been with me is I can't say enough. They're not just my driving force. I feel I don't feel I owe them something, you
Yeah,
know,
absolutely.
because they've been with me for so long. But if you've noticed that there's a little bit of a stutter in their voice, um, that has come straight out. I said to them when they come to me, we played some tournament ball.
Yep.
The difference when they get a mask on, if they're trying to tell me, oh, there's somebody over there, it would be stuttering,
Yes.
to try and get that out. But when they
Yep.
put that mask on, they're calling out, snake 50, snake 50, snake 50. They'll be calling it out that fast. There's not a stutter behind them. And I says, do you realize what you're doing there? I says, when you've got that mask on, you can be anybody you want. I said,
That
so
focus hits.
just try and apply that. And, I love these two boys.
I love that. That's beautiful.
I can't say enough good about them.
That's a beautiful thing.
But I've had other boys that have come out with me, and they still come out and play every now and again. I'm gonna mention Tyson on here because he's team. He just couldn't come on here tonight.
Uh-huh.
Tyson has said to me, he said, if I hadn't got into paintball, Tyson's story when he was 12 and he would come out with us. We're all adults. He'd come out and he'd drop his balls everywhere. He's 12, 14 years old. Balls are all over the place, and he's picking them up off the ground. And we're giving him as much crap as what we would an adult. He stuck with us, and he said he loved that because he was taken the same as one of the adults.
As one of absolutely.
And he said, if I hadn't have been in paintball, he says, I know I would have been into drugs.
Oh, that's amazing.
So when you hear those stories, those are as heartwarming for me. And we've had the other boys come to it, and lots of other kids come to us. And I've got a wall up here of guys that we've had going back to when we even started.
Oh, amazing.
Well,
I don't know if you know this, but my son, Miles, he's on the autism spectrum.
Yeah.
And when, he had a rough time as a kid, didn't speak properly, had learning issues, stuff like that, bad schools, the full gambit. And when I took him out to his first paintball game when he was 10 years old, he changed.
Yeah.
And he went from a kid who had his speaking issues and didn't communicate well. And what he did was he went on that field when he was 10 and he took command, and he was yelling out orders to all the other kids, and he was moving forward, no trouble speaking. He was, come on, guys, come on, let's go. Let's go. I see one of it. You know what I mean? And it's like,
I know,
he was a whole different person.
Yeah.
And as you said, when you put that mask on and the game started and the paintballs are flying over their heads and that focus just zoomed in.
Yeah.
And it just changes you. And it's and it does the same to me too. It's no matter how not, I don't get bored of this game.
Yeah.
And no matter how many times I play it, sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't know if I'm up for it this weekend. I got to, get my gear, and it might be raining. But when I get to that field and you hear the air compressors going and you hear people pouring paint into pods and lining up magazines and you step foot on that field, Jesus, Murphy, the adrenaline just starts pumping.
It just
every
changes,
single time, and you just got to go. And when you get on that grass and you get on when you get on that grid, all your problems, just nothing exists but what's in front of you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you get tuned in, and you get, if the wife is complaining, if the job sucks, if you're behind on bills, if something else is wrong, if you're doing bad in school, all that stuff disappears when we get on our field and those goggles go down and you start shooting at the other team. And that is, and nothing else. It is an equalizer, because when you go out there, we don't know what other people do for their jobs. We don't know what school they go to. We don't know how much money we don't know if they're rich or they're poor or what have you. We don't care about who you are outside of the field. All that matters is that you're my brother beside me in the trenches, and we're going to go and take this base with some smoke grenades and some other crazy ass dudes. And that's, it's such a beautiful equalizer. That's what keeps bringing us back in. I love it. Sorry for ranting on.
No, it goes even further than that. I mean, it doesn't even matter what color you are as well. You black, white, green, purple, whatever. You've got a mask on. Your buddy by your side. If they're giving you, if they can give you cover, you might not see them until after the game. And
exactly.
Oh, that's who you are.
Yeah,
I know.
And it's funny because when I started playing in the '90s, like I was almost always like the only black guy at the game, but it didn't make a difference. All that mattered is how you played, and all that matters is, what I mean. It doesn't matter what religion you are or what, and that's what I love. Like I go to Europe, and if I go down to Mexico and I play with different cultures, it doesn't matter. As soon as you get on the field, it's all paintball. You know what I mean? And it's so cool. It's like it's the true equalizer, and it really brings people together that you would never know in your regular day to day. And it's so cool. I mean, we destroy each other and laugh about it after over junk food at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like it's such a great game, and that's why I want to bring more people to play it, because I feel like everyone who doesn't play it is missing out on such an amazing event.
This is why we're trying to do this year, because it's been slowly dying off. We bring people in because of the big games, and we're known for one of the best games around here. I'm not just blowing my own trumpet here.
Yep.
The work that we have to put in to run a game, like we're planning September's long game as soon as one game's finished.
Okay.
So we want to grow this just as much as anywhere else. Yes, it's a struggle. We have had, we've been lucky because we have been playing it so long. We're not just fresh out, so people do know that. They know us from when we used to travel, and I think that's why we've got the core of the people that come here.
Yeah.
So these boys actually were the ones that came up and said, hey, we was on a podcast. Hey, why can't we do a podcast?
Yeah.
So that's why we've started this.
I like it.
I've told them, they've got to take over at one point. I'm not hosting this all the time. This was their idea. So at one point they've got to do it. But we're going to bring on. We've got team talk that we're going to do. So next week we have the Unnamed in Calgary. They're a great bunch of guys. How is it they explain themselves? It's
they're drinking buddies with a paintball problem.
Yeah,
love that.
Their home field is Brad Creek. They play a lot at Brad Creek. They get together, and they have beers and they go around each other's houses and somebody's. So it's not just paintball with them, but it's the paintball that's brought them together.
Yes.
So we have a couple of other teams that we play with. As I said, the Devil's Legion. We've Alpha 22. He runs a podcast, so he was the one that put us onto the first podcast.
I think I know Alpha. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna get him on. We've got Andy Belkey and Aaron Plado that are just outside of Winnipeg. They have YouTubes, so we're going to get those guys on. And the more teams that we can find have team talks and player talks and these different segments, but try to keep it to well, we thought we could keep it to 20 minutes, but there's so much when you get into it. I mean, we're into
Sorry.
our next. No, it's not. This is fantastic. I'm loving the chat, and that's where it went last night with Devil's Legion. We went to 40 minutes, and I said, I don't know how long we can go recording for, and so the boys said, well, let's do it in 2 segments. If we know we're going to get into the wolf, let's just click it off and then start recording again, so we can do it. So
I love it.
this is what we want to do. We want to get more of this out there, get more people watching this, share it, so that we can get that paintball back into the prairies, where it's been dying off.
Yeah, absolutely. And I heard you said like I mean, one of the aspects is that it's struggling because paintball's got one of the biggest threats right now. I wouldn't know if it's a threat. One of the biggest things right now is that paintball has to compete with stuff like gaming. You know what I mean? And it's getting harder to get freaking kids off of the consoles and the PCs and to get them outside to a field and get some exercise and maybe get shot at and and just experience this game, because kids aren't like what they used to be per se.
No,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's getting harder and harder to get the younger generations out there. And you keep calling these grown-ass men kids with freaking beards down to their knees and stuff, but
I know exactly. I can't get over that. They were kids when they came out to me, and they're still my kids.
Yeah, that's how it is.
When they've been to gun shows with their dad, and I think somebody came up to one of them the other day and said, "Hey, where's your dad?" And he went, "He's right here." He said, "No, where's your dad?" He went, where's Andy? He went, "He's not my dad."
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because Miles,
I call them my twins.
There you go. And my son, he's taking up boxing and stuff, and he's like working out every day, and it's like getting big like dad, almost bigger. Jesus. And it's like, he's getting taller than me now too, and it's like it goes by so quick, and I'm I still call him my little baby and stuff, and he hates it, but that's how it is. But we want to get I keep trying to get. That's when I make certain videos. I'll even do my opening videos like it's a Call of Duty game or Battlefield, to try and show these kids how cool this is. And if you think you can play Arc Raiders or what have you, or Hell Divers and stuff like that, you can do this in real life too, and come out and play paintball. You can set up like my gear is set up the same way I play in Warzone, Call of Duty, or Battlefield. I still have a box mag when I do gaming and stuff like that, and I still have my new setup has a thermal sight on it, which is insane. You know what I mean? So I show kids that you can do this in real life too. So and that helps a lot.
And you can tell the kids when you go out to the field and you start playing, and you might play with a whole bunch of. You can tell the kids that have played that Call of Duty or anything, because you can see by the way they move. They can tell by the way they clear a corner. You can tell. My first experience with that, and it was my son when he was 14, and I think he's nearly. He's nearly 30 now, I think.
Nice.
Some of the grey matter's going while I'm old here. But when we started playing and he was 14, I've got a picture of him up on the wall here. We went into a barn, and I opened the door, and I went 3, 2, 1, and opened the door, and I just had to take a step back at that time and see how he moved. He went in. And he went, I just looked at him and went, shit, what the, I've never seen a 14-year-old move like this. And the last time I did it, I was in the army, It was in the army, and we did this. And I thought, and that's when it come to realize, because that long ago, we were still fairly fresh at playing paintball. I started paintball when I was in the army, but to see a 14-year-old boy moving like that is like, fantastic. And that still comes now, and on the rental groups you can see, or you get new kids that come into it, and you say, "You play Call of Duty, don't you?" And they go, "Yeah."
Nice.
And but
it does help, and again, it helps to relate to it.
But they've got to get off the couch, and they've got to get out. This is where we need people. We need people to start realizing that, and you can do all the moves on Call of Duty, but do you want to come out and try it? Let's do this in real. Let's do this in real life, kind of thing.
Oh yeah, yeah. Trust me, even I'm a gamer too, and I wish there was like a unlimited running perk that I could use on the field because my cardio needs to be better, especially when you're hauling all this gear across several acres of land. You know what I mean? It's like,
well,
Jesus Murphy.
I see that. We're on 35 minutes here, but I just want to finish that one thought with you. That's where outfield is a little different.
Okay.
The biggest guy I had out there was a 350-pound guy who was about 6'6", 350 pounds. And
all those mobile bunkers, yes.
I said, "Are you going to be okay?" And he looked at me and went, "Like, what do you mean?" I went, "Well," and he said, "Just believe me." He says, "I'm fine." He would walk between building, walk to a trench, take a couple of shots, walk to the next place, take a couple of shots. You've got the 18-year-old that zoom, 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 you know.
Yeah.
And by the time we came off, he had less than anybody else, you know, but still had as much fun. That's where our field is a little different than any other field, and you can play it at your own pace.
Yep.
You know, it's not like playing in the woods where you've still got the same terrain to go through. It's trees, trees, trees. With our houses and our bunkers, you've got enough time to move to place, but do you mind if I just flick off here again, because I don't want to go over the 35 minutes and
Yep.
just